Okay, welcome back, everyone. Hope you had coffee, tea, and nice little bites. Since it's a nutrition conference, we want to make sure that you're well fed. So I welcome you all to the first thematic session for day 2, which is thematic session 3A, Bridging Knowledge and Action, Nutrition Education for All Stakeholders. We have 2 moderators for this session. I would like to invite Sunny Kim, who's a Senior Research Fellow from the International Food Policy Research Institute, and Neha Malla, who's the co-founder of Social Changemakers and Innovators. So Sunny and Neha, please come on the dais. And over to you for taking the session forward.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. We have an exciting session of sharing of experiences on bridging nutrition knowledge to action gaps. We have 6 presentations that demonstrate educational strategies aimed at different objectives, target groups, using different modes of communication and technology platforms. We know that the pathways to building nutrition literacy or core knowledge or even changing behaviors, particularly highly sticky behaviors like reducing the consumption of ultra-processed foods or even changing the behavior to adhere to daily multiple micronutrient supplements or other medicine regimens and so forth, they do vary and require strategic theories of change. Developing the content, intensity, duration, and frequency of education tools and materials and sessions require first and foremost knowing your audience. As you listen to these presentations, we suggest to draw out what make these approaches work and why they don't work, perhaps, and how they are in common or differ from each other. Then after all of the presentations have been completed, we look forward to a lively Q&A session with all of you. So with that, I'm going to introduce the first speaker. We have the first speaker will be Arsala Jamil Faruqi from Aga Khan University, sharing about the strengthening nutrition through the scalable multi-sectoral IGNITE initiative in Pakistan.
Hello, everyone, and good morning. I'm Arsala Jamil Faruqi. I'm a research coordinator at the Institute for Global Health and Development at Aga Khan University, and I also serve as the course manager for the IGNITE courses. So today, I will be talking about how the IGNITE online nutrition courses are contributing to strengthening nutrition capacity in Pakistan. So a bit of a background first. Pakistan continues to face a heavy nutrition burden. According to the National Nutrition Survey of 2018, 4 out of 10 children under 5 years of age are stunted, while 17.7% suffer from wasting. We're also seeing the double burden of malnutrition rise, where nearly 1 in 3 underweight children exist, alongside almost 10% overweight. Overweight prevalence has also doubled between 2011 and 2018. And according to the 2025 Global Hunger Index, Pakistan has a level of hunger that is serious. So these indicators highlight the urgent need for strong and scalable nutrition action. So health professionals are central to improving family nutrition outcomes. But in Pakistan, in routine care, nutrition, especially maternal, child, and adolescent nutrition, isn't always integrated consistently. So, and important determinants like climate change and gender are considered in a limited capacity. Therefore, this gap presents an opportunity. Strengthening nutrition knowledge within the health system can directly help improve population health. So where do the IGNITE courses come in? So IGNITE stands for Increased Gains in Nutrition by Integration, Evaluation, and Empowerment, which is a 5-year initiative funded by Global Affairs Canada. It is active in Pakistan, Ghana, and Malawi. In Pakistan, the online courses are supported by Aga Khan University and Sikh Kids Center for Global Child Health, from where the courses have originated. Alongside the online courses, there are also multiple activities under the project, and the overall aim of the project is to strengthen institutional capacity and improve nutrition outcomes for over 3 lakh people in vulnerable communities. But the objective of the online courses is to have 20,000 courses completed to build a nutrition knowledgeable workforce in Pakistan by 2028. So coming to a bit towards the methods, the project began in 2023. It started with a robust formative research to understand the enablers and barriers to digital learning among Pakistani health professionals. The formative research was carried out over a long period of time, and it has been recently published as well. Coming to the content development, 7 online nutrition courses for health professionals were developed by a bunch of experts at Aga Khan University, supported by Sikh Kids Center for Global Child Health. And these were also supported by the Pakistan partners of the IGNITE online nutrition courses, which were Nutrition International and WaterAid, who offered their expertise in these subject matters. All the courses were contextually validated by a panel of Pakistani nutrition experts who knew the Pakistani context in 2024 and 2025. 3 of the courses were launched in October 2024, and 4 courses were launched in July 2025. So while each course has specific objectives, all the courses share 4 overarching goals, which are to explain the foundational nutrition concepts and their link to health outcomes, build skills for nutrition assessment and counseling, especially in vulnerable populations, describe how the healthcare team can manage nutrition issues in these populations, and especially integrate cross-cutting topics like WASH, gender, and climate change to strengthen holistic care. There are 7 courses that are currently live, which include maternal and child nutrition in Pakistan, nutrition across the life course in Pakistan, gender and nutrition, hospital-acquired malnutrition, specialized pediatric nutrition care, management of pediatric nutritional disorders, and the intersection of nutrition with WASH and climate change in Pakistan. All of these courses are completely free of cost. They are accredited by health professional councils associated with Pakistan and are eligible for credit points through the World Continuing Education Alliance, which is the learning platform where the courses have been launched. They are available on the WCEA app and on the browser, and offer 2 continuing professional development or continuing medical education points, depending on your affiliation. So currently the courses are designed for a suite of healthcare professionals, which include doctors, nurses, midwives, dietitians, nutritionists, and public health professionals, and any students of these fields. But really, any health professional who wants to apply nutrition assessment and context-specific counseling principles can benefit from the courses. So we took special care to integrate the values of gender and WASH throughout the courses, both in objectives and case studies. We also created a dedicated course on the intersection of nutrition with WASH and climate change, which is course 7, which emphasizes strategies to improve child and family health in vulnerable environments. Coming to some of the findings, so the courses have been, most of the courses have been live for over a year now. Some of the courses were launched a few months ago. And for these courses, we are analyzing the data through click analytics. Currently, over 1,500 health professionals in Pakistan have signed up for the courses, but this is the statistic from when I submitted this presentation to the organizing committee. After that, the courses continue to rise. 2,800 plus courses are in process or have been completed. Most of the courses have been taken on the WCEA app, where the content is also downloadable, which shows its active use for busy professionals as well. We are also measuring quantitative data through pre and post knowledge tests, which shows a massive improvement in the knowledge scores. Some of the socio-demographic findings. So nurses make up the largest learner group. Women show a slightly higher participation. Most learners are from urban areas, and our most promising category are young, early career professionals who are eager to engage in CPD courses. And different regions across Pakistan have taken the courses, but Punjab shows a minor lead. The qualitative feedback has also been extremely positive. Learners have highlighted improved understanding of disability and nutrition, pregnancy, breastfeeding, feeding techniques, and the role of gender in nutrition practices. The strong engagement and completion rates and active interests from students especially suggest that the platform is well positioned for national scale-up as well. However, as with all interventions, there are challenges that we have also faced. Some of our learners are still mid-course and have not completed the courses yet. App registration is difficult for areas where there are rural health setups, for example, in interior Sindh. And uptake by physicians and nutritionists is lower as compared to nurses. And personally, I feel like, as Ms. Ahuja mentioned yesterday also, the more you talk about your work, the more impact it creates. I feel like we could fare well with more visibility for the courses also nationally and internationally, which is why we're also presenting here. So some of the implications for policy and practice. IGNITE offers a clear model to strengthen nutrition capacity through a multi-sectoral systems approach. We've already partnered with 24 national institutions, and the feedback is highly encouraging. By building institutional capacity and using real-time data to adapt to our challenges, IGNITE can support improvements in nutrition outcomes and provide a replicable model for other low-resource settings as well. At the end, I'd like to acknowledge our project partners for the IGNITE courses in Pakistan, which are Nutrition International, WaterAid, and of course our funding from Global Affairs Canada. The work was primarily supported by Aga Khan University and Sikkim Center for Global Child Health. I'm open to any questions. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, Arsala. Our next speaker will be Manik Dara Purnima Sujiwa Ratnayake from Wayamba University in Sri Lanka, and will be presenting on the social ecological model for comprehensive food literacy education in Sri Lankan secondary schools. Over to you.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to share my work on development of a socio-ecological model for comprehensive food literacy education in Sri Lankan secondary schools. Actually, this model explains how we can support real behavior change through effective food literacy education. Food literacy is a broad concept. It includes understanding food system from production to waste, developing skills related to implementation, planning, managing, and preparation, and eating wisely, and knowing how food affect health and well-being of the people, and understanding broad concepts of food literacy like social, economical, cultural, political factors, and environmental factors, and how that affect our decision making. Then, globally and locally, food literacy have been identified as an effective intervention that improves health and well-being of people while supporting environmental sustainability. The objective of this study is to develop a comprehensive theory-driven socio-ecological model with multi-sectoral input to promote behavior change, enhancing school food environments, and strengthen the food literacy education in Sri Lanka. We used mixed method approach across 4 main studies. In the first study, we conducted a curriculum analysis, and we wanted to understand the quality and depth of the content of the food literacy in the current school curricula. Then, in the next study, we examined stakeholders' opinion to understand the current food environment and current status of food literacy education in schools. We used 7 stakeholders in this study, including teachers, principals, students, education administrators, food and nutrition experts, parents, and canteen holders. Then in the third study, we developed a food literacy evaluation tool, and using that tool, we assessed food literacy level of the students. Finally, we conducted a quantitative survey to assess teachers' confidence and to examine their training needs and their teaching practices. Across these studies, we found that the curriculum is mainly knowledge-based, and the focus towards practical skill development is less. And also, the whole curriculum content in the curricula is not delivered to the entire school student population, because food literacy related subjects are offered as optional subjects after grade 9. So only few students are selecting these subjects. Then the stakeholders emphasized the importance of multi-sectoral approach in food literacy interventions. In the third study, we understood that majority of the students were at low or moderate level of food literacy. Specifically, they showed low attitudes and practices compared to their knowledge. Finally, teachers had overall good confidence in delivering the subject, but they emphasized the requirement of continuous professional development, especially related to new technologies. Likewise, all these perspectives guided development of this model. This is the model that I am talking about, and the behavioral changes I have highlighted in this model because we are targeting that through several steps. I will explain this in step by step in the next slide. Then, actually this model is grounded in socio-ecological model because food literacy or food behaviors are influenced by several factors. That is why we used that theory. Here, this model suggests school culture as the foundation in all attempts. Already there are established school cultures and maintaining school cultures in schools. So, in that point, we can integrate this model into the schools. School culture comprises of education and school food environment. When education is given through curricula, co-curricular, and extracurricular activities within a social and physical sound environment, supported by the policies, it is the main concept of school culture. When there is a good school culture in schools, they appreciate, they value, and they develop their own norms related to food literacy, that means sound or healthy food behaviors in their schools. So, in that point, we suggest the stakeholders' participation, that means family and community participation in school food culture, because then we can extend these values and norms to the community and family, and the students are able to continue these practices at their homes. And also, advocacy from health sector is an important factor because health sector can provide accurate, up-to-date, and evidence-based information to the students. Then social marketing strategies are essential to promote food literacy among students. Actually, not only students, with all student community, school community. Actually, we can use engaging messages, visual aids, and promotional activities as social marketing strategies. And also, this when we apply social marketing, we can make food literacy concepts more attractive and rewarding for the students. Within that environment, we suggest to deliver food literacy across knowledge, attitudes, and practices targeting self-efficacy and confidence. Then we can implement some activities like hands-on activities, demonstrations by teachers and peers, that means role modeling, and step-by-step guidance and timely feedback, gradual skill progression, supportive, well-equipped landscaping, and also opportunities for independent task completions, like things will increase their confidence and self-efficacy. With that, the students are empowered to take the leadership in school activities and in the community activities. Then they, and also they can actively participate in policy formulations for the schools and also for the national level. These empowered students are able to take behavioral changes which are sustainable and sustainable and positive. When these behavior changes are present in them, they can navigate the food system in a better way to aiming overall health and well-being of the people, ensuring a sustainable ecological system. That's the whole concept of our model. And this model is developed specifically for Sri Lankan context by the South Asian region population, where similar educational gaps and nutritional challenges are present. You can adapt this model into your context as well. And as well, I would like to say that this model is currently at proposed level. Piloting, policy integration, and national scaling is looking forward to do. Actually, I would like to thank National Research Council and Cambridge University Research Grant for funding this research, and all the participants and Ministry of Education for their contribution. This is my research team. Thank you.
Thank you, Manik Kadara. And our next speaker will be Mohammed Azim Malik from King Edward Medical University in Pakistan, and will be presenting on bridging nutritional literacy gaps through WhatsApp, a gender-inclusive diabetes prevention study in Pakistani higher education.
So, hello everyone. I am Mohammed Azim Malik from King Edward Medical University, Pakistan. And I'll be here to present a quasi-experimental study which we did in the non-medical universities of Lahore. It's about leveraging WhatsApp microlearning to enhance diabetes awareness in young adults, a quasi-experimental study in non-medical university students of Pakistan. Now, first of all, I would like to start with a small personal story. One of the co-authors of this study, Anurag Jha, he's from Nepal, and when I came here, he wanted me to meet his uncle and aunt. But unfortunately, his uncle suffered from a cataract surgery, and his aunt had a recent glaucoma surgery. Now, to most of us here, cataract and glaucoma might be just terms aloof to us all. They're terms associated with diabetes, the complications of diabetes. Now, to project this small story on a large number of people, Pakistan has a population of 34.5 million, according to recent statistics, that suffers from diabetes. And it's something that's ever growing. Like in the West as well, in South Asia, this problem is emerging and it's rampant across many regions and states. What we need are effective interventions. Now, young adults specifically, young adults have this tendency to apply and proceed to new interventions, and their ability to project this on a large audience, that makes young adults the most suitable audience to apply these interventions so that diabetes at a larger scale can be curbed. Traditional health education, like, for example, brochures or pamphlets or templates, those are ineffective to an extent that they're just rote or old school. Now we need new interventions. Digital platforms, especially WhatsApp, which is ubiquitous, are underused for preventive health. Now, why are we targeting university students? Like I said, they form a backbone of the youth. They form a class that's able to inculcate these new procedures. There's low awareness of signs, complications, and screening, misconceptions of diabetes, like most of us, to refer to the previous example, cataract and glaucoma. Now, there has to be something associated with the eye, right? But these are complications of diabetes that can lead to complete vision loss if not cured. So university students, they're a critical life stage for forming healthy habits. And this is a digital opportunity for us. Youth is fast-paced, connected to the world, and traditional methods fail to engage them. WhatsApp, having 40 million users in Pakistan, is ideal for scalable telehealth. Now, what sets our approach different from the others is that it's the first micro-learning diabetes intervention using WhatsApp. It uses short, twice-daily multimedia content, and it's grounded in a behavioral framework. It's high scalability. Obviously, there's low cost. Everyone uses WhatsApp here, right? And then it has a strong achievement, like we saw in the study, a 60.8% high achievement. Now, coming to the study design, what we actually did in our country. It was a quasi-experimental study, pre-test and post-test, like we're measuring knowledge and interventions pre-test, before the intervention, and then after the intervention. It was a 14-day WhatsApp micro-learning, 148 participants from the non-medical universities of Pakistan, and 74 per group. That is an experimental group and a control group. The intervention including multimedia, quizzes, moderate discussions. I'll come to that on the next slide. And the control included traditional procedures like distributing brochures, PDFs, or just those big pages which I guess nobody reads. And why did we pick non-medical universities? Well, that's the basic intervention. Medical universities. Now I can talk about cataract and glaucoma for 4 hours straight. But when you ask what's cataract to a normal layperson, he'll say something like related to the eye or anything. But then again, it's a complication of diabetes, which needs awareness. The intervention content of our study included infographics, short videos, interactive quizzes, and e-posters to help that engagement further on to every student participating in that groups. We included quizzes, small discussions, and to keep them active, like the pings on your phone. It keeps you activated, like, I've got a new message. What's it about? What's it about? So this helped for the interactive quizzes. This is an example of what type of content we produced. It was bite-sized, comprehensive, and concise. Now, when it comes to the results and a few analysis of what we got through, the predictors and engagement included a regression analysis we did and a high engagement, that is 60.8% high engagement in the intervention group and 94.6 retention rate. What we were giving, what that bite-sized information we were giving, they were retaining. And what the quizzes and the small activities we were giving them, they were actually engaging with it. Now, regression analysis, like we did, the attitudes showed a high significance, as well as the 46.8% variance, and this is supported by the theory of planned behavior. WhatsApp interactivity boosts participation. Now, as we saw the results in the knowledge, people were more affluent with now what the new procedures, what complications of diabetes there are, and what we can see among them. Similarly, the attitudes changed significantly, and the constructs of intentions changed specifically. And when we contrast it with the control group, there was a slight improvement. Because obviously, when you get a 3-page or 4-page PDF, or even a brochure filled with multimedia or templates, you might not read that because it will take time, it will take your energy, and we might not have that dopamine to support that in today's age of Instagram Reels and TikToks, obviously. Now interpretation. WhatsApp microlearning is highly acceptable, highly engaging, and the interactive reinforced contents lead to short-term gains. The theory of planned behavior explains the intention changes. People can change from just this small comprehensive information. Findings are exploratory, not casual. Now let's come to the limitations. We see these limitations not as deadlocks, but opportunities to progress. This was a quasi-experimental study. There was no randomization. There was no large audience. We picked non-medical universities in Lahore. Obviously, it was constricted. It was a short duration, 14 days. 14 days does not measure the complete output. And then the outcomes were self-reported. We did not measure those behavioral changes across them. It was an urban educated sample. They used WhatsApp, and particularly English speakers, and no objective behavioral outcomes. But then again, we don't see these limitations as deadlocks. We see them opportunities to grow. Now, WhatsApp learning is promising, scalable, and low cost. We can use it to integrate normal habits into people. And this shows a strong potential for youth-targeted diabetes literacy. Now, this study can be followed with RCTs, 3 to 12 months follow-up on those students, and objective behavioral measurements, scaling to universities nationwide. Now, when considering our country, Pakistan has a large population which is not educated to a large extent. But whenever you see their phones, one thing that's specifically onto it is WhatsApp. WhatsApp helps us interact with many people worldwide. Now, using that platform, that's already integrated in their habits and behaviors. Using that is much beneficial than introducing another app or anything else. Like, why would you go for something costly, for example, a new app or a new system? To highlight the book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, in it, he stresses the fact that we don't need new habits. We don't need new systems to change. We need habits that are integrated with already established systems. That's how we change. That's how we bring about new behaviors. Now, most of us here, like some of us, if not all, are concentrated on their phone, heads down, onto it, and like you're engaging with your phone. Now, we can use this dopamine scarcity to benefit with new interventions. Now, let's say we receive pings on our phone about Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, and WhatsApp as well. Why not one of that ping makes an impact that changes you and that helps you for the better? And that can be scaled across multiple regions worldwide. I am Muhammad Azim, and thank you so much for listening. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Muhammad Azim. Moving on to our next speaker, we have Tilak Wanasinghe from the University of Kelania, who is presenting on From Post to Plate, a high-quality tool analysis of diet-related posts on Sri Lankan government Facebook pages.
I want to start by asking you to think back to a time when you saw a post on Facebook. Perhaps it was about health, that telling you to what to eat and what to not eat, or what to avoid, or what are the trends for your healthy lifestyle. Now think about this. What if the very information you were seeing was incorrect or misleading or incomplete? Now imagine a situation where millions and billions of people are receiving these messages. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Over 70% of Sri Lankans are consuming diet that do not meet the recommended guidelines for healthy diet. And this is leading to increased health risks like diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and obesity. This is why our research is so important. Social media, especially Facebook, plays a huge role spreading health information. But how do we know if the content shared by the organization is accurate, clear, and culturally relevant? This is exactly what we set out to investigate. How well the Ministry of Health Sri Lanka is using Facebook communicate diet-related health information. Today I will share with you the findings of my study from the Post to Plate, a health information quality assessment tool, analysis of diet-related posts on Sri Lankan government Facebook pages. My name is Tilak Wanasinghe from Global Health Research Unit, Faculty of Medicine, University of Kelaniya. I conducted this research with Dr. Latika Tauda, Prabhat Edirisinghe from the Department of Public Health, and Dr. Radhani Ratnapriya, Allergy, Immunology and Cell Biology Unit, University of Jayawardhanepur, Sri Lanka. Post-plate goal was simple yet crucial. Goal is to assess the quality, themes, and framing of diet-related content shared by the Sri Lankan Ministry of Health on Facebook using health information and quality assessment tool. And this tool was developed by the multidisciplinary policy development and evaluation team in Korea, assess the online print media information, which has never been applied to social media content before. So why we use? Because in today's world, social media is a major source of health communication, but its effectiveness and accuracy need to be critically examined. Now, let me walk you through how we conducted this research. We analyzed 200 diet-related posts from the official Sri Lankan Ministry of Health Facebook pages around the 2018 to 2023. Our analysis was based on 5 key indicators. First one is scientific accuracy. How accurate was the information? And second one is transparency. Did the post provide credible source of expert opinions? And third one is comprehensibility. Was the language easy to understand, or was it full of jargon? Fourth one is cultural relevance. Did the post align with the Sri Lankan dietary habits and cultural context? And last one is bias and framing, where the message bias emotionally charged or peer-based. So we also use qualitative content analysis, explore trends and patterns across these posts. Also, we use Cohen's-Kappa iterator reliability to ensure consistency in our findings. So what we did find? Let's start with the good news. 65% of the posts we analyzed was scientifically accurate, which is great news considering the health risks involved in diet. However, as we dug deeper, we identified several areas for improvement. First one is transparency. Only 60% of posts cited expert opinions or credible sources, which is positive but leaves 40% of posts lacking transparency. This gap calls into question the trustworthiness of the information being shared. Other one is cultural relevance. 50% of the posts were adapted to Sri Lankan cultural diet habit, but there is a room for improvement here. The cultural preference to engage the audience more effectively. And other one is bias and framing. Perhaps the most concerning finding was that 30% health risks. This reduced the overall effectiveness of the health messages and might even discourage people from engaging with the content altogether. Now, why does this matter? Our findings have important implications for scaling and policy. First point is effective health communication. To be truly effective, health communication on platforms like Facebook must be balanced and evidence-based and culturally relevant. While most of the posts were scientifically accurate, the use of peer-based language can have unintended negative effects. And ladies and gentlemen, other point is cultural adaptation. Content must be tailored to our local realities. You know, Sri Lankan dietary habits are unique, and the Ministry of Health could improve engagement by aligning its message more closely with cultural practice and local dietary norms. Other one is transparency. Clear reference to scientific sources and expert opinion will foster trust with the audience. Also, the more transparent posts, the more reliable they appear to the public. Let me conclude my research. In conclusion, while the majority of the diet-related posts on Sri Lankan Ministry of Health Facebook pages were scientifically accurate, there are significant areas for improvement. Bias in framing, lack of cultural relevance, and incomprehensibility are barriers to effective communication that need to be addressed. And in the future, we need to explore the behavioral impact of these health communication and apply the health information quality assessment tool to analyze these health communication efforts. Also, based on our findings, I would like to propose a few recommendations for scale up the effectiveness of health communication. First one is reduce emotional appeals. Focus on clear, evidence-based messaging rather than using fear to grab attention. People need empowering, and people need trustworthy information that motivates behavior change without inducting panic. Other point is improve cultural relevance. We recommend to tailor health message to local dietary habits and cultural context. So we need to scale up our health professional and nutrition specialists, professionals to scale up their knowledge about how to develop cultural relevant content. Other point is simplify language. Avoid complex medical jargon. Instead use simple and understandable language to reach a broad audience and ensure the message is accessible to all. Last point is increase transparency. Encouraging the Ministry of Health to provide clear reference and expert opinion in every report. That will build the trust and credibility with the audience. Finally, I would like to say this. Food is not just a technical matter. It is a deeply personal and emotional experience. Therefore, we must implement our policies and practices with great human sensitivity, ensuring they resonate with the people, behaviors, and their cultural values. So please remember, your post can change the plate. So thank you very much for Ministry of Health Sri Lanka and Global Health Research Unit and University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka. Also, thank you so much for my generous funders. Without your support, it will be a difficult process to communicate my findings to this kind of, spirit of nutrition in South Asia and worldwide. So thank you very much again.
Thank you, Tilak. Up next, we have Saroj from the Zeal Grit Foundation, who will be presenting about scaling without system change is tokenism, lessons from an adolescent nutrition literacy program in Bihar.
Good morning, everyone. I'm truly honored to be here to share insights from our adolescent health project. And the core learning from the months of implementation is that we often talk about scale as if it is a numbers game. But we have learned that scale collapses when the system beneath is weak. We have learned about its stats since yesterday, so I'm not going through them. But what I want to mention that our project is being implemented in Supaul district of Bihar, specifically in the Triveniganj subdivision. We conducted a baseline survey with 190 adolescent girls, and the results didn't just show the individual behaviors, but exposed the system-level failures that shape those behaviors. For example, nearly 50% of the participants skipped breakfast on the school days, and they had their first proper meal only after 3 p.m. Nearly 50% had carbonated, sugar-loaded drinks every single day. These are some of the important points, and therefore, the project focuses on two important things. First, to improve the health and nutrition literacy of the adolescents, and to sensitize the immediate ecosystems around them. Following these learnings, we created a micro-model of functioning adolescent health ecosystem, where we designed activity-led sessions with interactive exercises like bingo, snake and ladder, musical chairs to train adolescents around topics like balanced diet, anemia, consent in relationships, and early marriage. We implemented the project in 6 schools, government schools, reaching nearly 500 adolescent girls in class 9th. And class 9th was a deliberate choice because girls at those age sit at the intersection of early adolescent and adulthood. They are forming the habits and they are becoming more aware about their bodies, and in some cases also facing pressures of domestic responsibilities and early marriage. We worked with each school to fix a weekly slot so that sessions become a part of their routines. To increase the adolescent participation, we also introduced participation punch cards, where after attending every 4 consecutive sessions, they receive a token of participation in forms of water bottles or tiffin box, colors, and drawing books. But we knew something very fundamental, that teaching adolescents alone cannot change their health behaviors. Because a girl cannot eat a breakfast if her mother leaves for field work at dawn and there is no one else at home to cook. and telling her to avoid processed food won't help if teachers allow them to go outside the school to buy chips and drinks during the lunch breaks. So we work directly with parents and teachers as well. With parents, we focused mostly on small, practical changes like doable breakfast options within their limited resources. And with teachers, it was mostly about sensitizing them about adolescents' needs and how they feel. We used a mixed method approach to collect our data to understand what, why, and how of the change is happening. Our trained facilitators collected both qualitative and quantitative data across the year. While the project showed positive shifts on a lot of behaviors, some of the notable ones are increase in fruits and vegetable consumption by 14.6% and 41.7% respectively. 60% of increase was also seen in self-acceptance about their body weight. Our layered implementation approach connected pedagogy for knowledge gains, incentives for participation, and community engagement for practice adoption. The positive outcomes we saw were possible because of some of the facilitators or systemic support that we created around them. That includes cooperation from schools and district administration, regular stakeholder meetings, culturally rooted content delivered in Hindi and in local dialect wherever required, activity-led sessions, and multiple touchpoints. But despite these facilitators, the impact varied across schools and communities, and the variations are categorized into these 5 level barriers, which I'm going to briefly walk you through them. At the school level, leadership makes a huge difference. Where principals were disengaged, overall school attendance stayed weak, and they viewed our sessions at a time utility space rather than essential health education. Poor sanitation, broken benches, and very limited teaching also discourages girls from coming to schools even on regular days. And adding to this fact, parents-teacher meeting, school management committees are often non-functional, and with no structured parental involvement, adolescent well-being is accountability of no one. At the district level, officials like district education officer or district magistrate see non-profits as temporary implementers rather than partners in systemic reform, and that's why their work is sometimes viewed in isolation. At the state level, the implementation of programs like Rashtra Kishore Swasthya Karikram is weak and often reduced to token compliance in form of photo ops. Monitoring majorly focuses on outputs like the number of sessions held or number of capacity building trainings conducted, rather than on outcomes like behavior change happened on what parameters. Financially also, Bihar's adolescent health specific budget is historically low, and even that small allocation remains underutilized. Investment from CSRs or private sector is minimal in Supaul district because of almost due to no industrial presence. And when it comes to socio-cultural barriers, most families view schools mainly as a place to get a certificate and not as a place for holistic learning. Conversations on menstruation, puberty, or contraception are still taboo both at home and in schools. And that's where our model's core elements of culturally adapted pedagogy, multi-touchpoint communication, teacher sensitization and parental engagement, low-cost participation mechanisms, and a data feedback loop fits in to address these barriers and simultaneously keep an eye on the scale. But why are these mechanisms essential for scale? If we take a step back and reflect, why in the first place we have to come up with such an intervention? Adolescent girls should not rely or depend on an external project to learn about as basic as menstrual hygiene or healthy diets. These are the responsibilities that should naturally be met by the families, schools, government, and the public health systems. But when these systems fail to do so, the gap opens, and organizations like ours have to step in to fill them. And the need for an intervention itself signals a systemic failure. Yet when we talk about scaling interventions, the dominant model tends to emphasize replication. That means from one school to million schools, assuming that the intervention itself is the unit of change. So when we say scaling without systems change is tokenism, we mean that just multiplying activities without fixing the underlying issues fails the whole program and leads to short-term and surface-level gains. So the question is, should we wait for the systems to be fixed before thinking about scale? The answer is no. Waiting would lead to complete program paralysis, but scaling without addressing these underlying issues will only dilute impact. And both extremes are unproductive. That's why we need to redefine what scale means. Scale doesn't always have to be vertical, from 1 to 100 schools. Rather, it can be horizontal, where we run intensive pilots in small geographic area and build theories of change from there. As our adolescent health project in the last 12 months has shown, this will entail thinking about metrics that measure real change, such as increase in dietary diversity and understanding the reasons behind it, rather than counting how many lives touched. This approach should not try to replace the state, rather engage with the messiness of the bureaucracy. Horizontal scaling also considers the power differentials between the entities involved, and which unfortunately most of the public health interventions often overlook. Our adolescent health project empowers rural girls in the sense by making them cognizant of their rights as citizens and members of the family. And fighting against nutrition for these girls is also a challenge against patriarchy and related invisibilization by social and state institutions. So unless we fix these underlying causes, any claim of impact will be tokenism. And as we say in our organizations, one life transformed is much better service than touching a million. My sincere thanks to IFPRI for sponsoring my participation today, and to all the participants for your patient engagement. Thank you.
Thank you, Saroj. Lastly, we have our final presenter joining us virtually, Atiya Rehman from BRAC University, who will be presenting on promoting supplement adherence through community health research workers communication, a qualitative investigation from Jeevit A, Bangladesh.
Thank you. I'm presently Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thank you. I'm presently on this presentation on behalf of my colleagues from Bangladesh
Atia? Atia? Yes, if you can help, if you can wrap up your presentation, that would be great. Thank you, and if we can have all the presenters come back up for the Q&A session, that would be great.
Namaste everyone. I'm Constance Sitola from Cafudat College, and my question is for the fourth presenter, oral presenter. And my question goes like this. How does the quality of diet-related information posted on official Sri Lankan government FP pages compare across ministries and languages as measured by the HiQ tool? And my next question is similar to this, related with this. What are the dominant misinformation themes in low-quality diet posts, and what policy recommendations can address them?
We'll take about 4 or 5 questions. We have a number of presenters and then answer them. But keep track of the questions that are coming to you all. Okay.
I'm Ren Silva from Sri Lanka. Similar questions from the Sri Lankan presenter Tilak. You said that you analyzed the content of the Facebook, the post of the Minister of Health, and it's quite allegation that only 65% accuracy of the post. And my questions are, who evaluated the messages? Number 2, you said that you did a qualitative study, and then how did you come with this 65% value? Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Afsana from Helen Keller International, Bangladesh. My 2 questions. One to Azim Malik, that it was very short duration, only 14 days study. So how was the percentage of participants receiving the diabetic health education via WhatsApp you have measured? And what's the strategies or was used in your study to control the confounding variables, that it is only due to the WhatsApp health education, not from the others variables they're receiving the message? And my next questions to Atia Rahman, that you have mentioned about the adherence of the BEP, that it increased, but how you measured the adherence, that it is taken by the pregnant mother, not by the other members of the family, or it is not thrown out. So what was your measurement strategy? Thank you.
My name is Sunil Kumar Maurya. I'm working with Evidence Action and providing technical support to expanding private school IFA supplementation program to private school students. My question is to M. Purnima, and thank you for a wonderful presentation and sharing your insights. I'm curious to know if you encountered any resistance from school teachers and parents on engaging their students in food literacy activities.
We'll take one more question and then do a round.
Hello, this is Ariful Islam from ID Bangladesh. My first question is to Arsana Jamil. Like you explain about the online nutrition course, that's I see the very good advantage even for the Gen Z as well as the NGO professional. Can you make it available for the nutrition community so we can learn from there? And second question is for the CHRW, the experience you have shown. Can you share the after project phase out, what percentage of CSRW continues their services, or what is the dropout ratio? Thank you.
I hope you got all of that. So if we can go and grab the microphone, and we'll go perhaps down the line. and address some of the questions that were presented by them.
Hello. So I was asked a question about whether the Ignite courses are available for nutrition community. So currently the courses are geared toward health professionals, and those include nutritionists and dietitians, but it is only open for health professionals in Pakistan. Like these online courses are for health professionals in Pakistan. Ignite is also active in Ghana and Malawi, but we personally manage the nutrition courses in Pakistan, and currently students are also able to take the courses, and all health professionals can take the courses.
As I understood, that gentleman asked from me about the food literacy activities that can be introduced to schools. No? Then actually, food literacy activities that should be actually food literacy activities that engage students and all school community are preferable in establishing food literacy concepts within the school. Actually, cooking programs, food campaigns, and food gardening programs like things are currently progressing in some schools, and those activities are favorable. And also cooking competitions, food modeling, and also teachers can play as role models, and like activities are really helpful in establishing and promoting food literacy among school community and students as well.
Sorry for that. That very first question asked, it was for me, right? I didn't get that question. I'm really sorry. Can you repeat it again?
How does the quality of diet-related information posted on official Sri Lankan government Facebook pages compare across ministries and languages as measured by the HiQ?
Sorry, I didn't get you. Please, can you? How?
Okay. How does the quality of diet-related information posted on official Sri Lankan government Facebook pages compared across ministries and languages as measured by the HiQ?
Yeah, actually, I selected 3 major institutions under Ministry of Health. Those are special unit, especially focusing on unhealthy diet and unhealthy diet and physical activity. The first one is NCD unit, Ministry of Health Sri Lanka, and the Health Promotion Bureau and Nutrition Division Sri Lanka. So within 1,000 contents, I selected only focusing on healthy diet, and we use health information quality assessment tool, which is before used for evaluate the quality of the online print media content, right? But later, within existing research and the justifications, we use that tool to evaluate our selected 200 selected content, right? So we have 5 elements in that tool. So we went through that 5 elements, and we give the rate for each content. That's how we did it. I hope you get the answer. And other question from Professor Renuka. Thank you, sir. Sir, sorry, I didn't mention that methodology. I couldn't mention it. It was a descriptive qualitative content analysis. So that's why we get that percentage. And also, we use a multidisciplinary expert to evaluate those quality of the content. First one is public health expert, other person is health communication expert. So we both evaluate same selected content using health information quality assessment tool, and to maintain the consistency, we use Cohen's kappa integrated reliability. So thank you very much, sir.
So the question was from you. If you could just rephrase the first part of that question, what you when you said. so that I could articulate it better, the first part of that question before you mentioned the duration of.
My first question was that how you measured that the participants, their percentage of receiving the message from the WhatsApp platform, health education, and how you control the other confounding variables.
Yes. So the technique for measurement of the results and outcomes was through surveys, and we used already verified which questionnaires and surveys, which can be found online as well, the DAS-3, the 22-point and the 33-point scales for attitude and knowledge respectively. But, and when it comes to the confounding variables, we sort of applied a randomization technique in which each university we employed, like there were close to 7 to 8 non-medical universities in Lahore. In each of those universities, we applied a specific randomization technique, like, and fit for that specific university, not like including males more, females more, educated more, and with this randomization, we were able to include a sample which was representing a lot of communities in Lahore specifically. But when it comes to analysis and removing confounding over there, we applied regression techniques as well as stratification according to the specific demographics. We collected, with consent, we collected the address data, socioeconomic status, on obviously gender and all those specific profiles of that people, and we were able to stratify data according to gender, socioeconomic status, as well as different like if the person used WhatsApp already, if the person knew about diabetes already, this stratification allowed us to allowed us to better signify our results. And then again, you highlighted the point of the small duration. Yes, that is a limitation for this study, which I acknowledged already. And this, obviously 14 days, but this helps us to make further changes, randomized control trials, or we were recently involved into integrating machine learning platforms and curating the content based on the individual. Like, let's say a person from a higher economic class would understand things differently. Like if you told him about cataract and then a definition about opacification of the lungs, opacification of the lens, sorry, he would understand what opacification means and the lens. But when it comes to the lower communities, like let's say in a rural area of Sindh, now rural area of Sindh, which is close to Arabian Sea in Pakistan, now that person won't understand it. Now WhatsApp, we're using as a sort of bridge where content creators are joined towards the people who actually need these interventions. That bridge acts as sustainable and low cost. That's what we want to prove and make it as a standpoint for not introducing new interventions, but integrating it onto already ubiquitous platforms. Now, I hope that answers both of your questions. Thank you so much.
Okay, I think we have time for another round if there are any last questions that want to be raised. Or go ahead, Atia. Sorry, go ahead. thanks, Atiya. Okay, we're going to take the last 3 questions here, and then wrap up the Q&A session. Go ahead.
So can I speak?
You were waiting first.
Who is first? Yeah, ladies first.
Go ahead.
So my name is Faiza Wahab and I'm from Pakistan. I'm working for the German government. And in Pakistan, we are running the same project like for adolescent nutrition, leveraging social protection for adolescent nutrition. So my question is from Siroj. Actually, when we talk about BCC, like the behavior change communication, we cannot forget about the scale deep. And for scale deep, we really need scale up to institutionalize it with the government and like under the policies. So for that, I just wanted to know that how, like you were mentioning about the education department and the leadership over there, but like I didn't see the multi-sectorial approach, like including the health department and other, like the food department, the social protection department, etc. For that, I don't know what was your target group. And also, like in our pilot project, it is like the time duration is really low, and for the BCC, we always need at least 6 years to like bring the impact. So what you are doing for that, like to institutionalize it, and if it is institutionalized, how you are, like how these development projects are monitoring them in your organization? Thank you.
Thank you. 2 more questions here.
Namaste, everyone. My name is Jivan Gimire from Nepal. Actually, I'm not asking anyone, but just flagging the issue of mental health while integrating into the nutrition program to get attention from all the participants from this hall and beyond. Since I got the opportunity to assess the National Mental Health Strategy and Action Plan of Nepal, 2020 to 2025, and I found that thousands of young mothers and adolescent girls have been affecting from the mental health. And they have been facing difficulties while caring and feeding of their children. So it is quite important, and I am just highlighting to address mental health along with the nutrition education in our programming to get the better results. Thank you so much.
Thanks for that comment. Okay, one more question.
Yeah. Again, my question is to Sri Lankan colleagues, Tilak. Like he correctly mentioned about the health messages on the government social Facebook pages. So my question is who posted that message to the social media? Like the government within the Ministry of Health, is there any department who produced that message, or the individual post that message? Like you mentioned that we analyzed that message from the technical expert, public health, health information. So before analyzing who are posting that message, because what I think is delivering 35% inaccurate message to the people is a kind of terrible situation. No? From the Ministry of Health, who is the lead apex of the health messages. So what is the mechanism of producing that messages and who posted? And so this is, I actually wanted to know from you. Thank you.
Great, thanks for that question. And I apologize, but we're going to have you two address those 2 questions. And if you can grab the rest of the questions, to grab the speakers after the session, but we're going to then have a closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. I completely understand that behavior change takes time, and when we are talking about scaling deep, we also have to think about scaling vertical also, so that we can reach more number of people. But as I mentioned, as I critiqued, that if our first vision is to thinking about reaching to 100 schools within the first year, it will only have surface level gains. This project that I have presented today, the findings and the results and the whole context is from the 1 year of implementation, and currently we are in the 2nd year of implementation. And we are trying to understand that how the whole concept can be institutionalized within the education and health department. The government of India and government of Bihar, they already have similar projects, but their implementation is a little bit flawed, if I could say that. So we understand and we engage with the messiness of the bureaucracy, we try to understand the dynamics between these interdepartments of social protection, education, health, and social welfare. How do they think adolescent well-being fall under their purview? And most of the time we only see is that this is their job and this is their job, and there is no clear-cut coordination. So before jumping and before deciding that this is the only way forward or to institutionalize our project into all these departments, for us it is important to understand what do they think of adolescent well-being at all, what are their own roles and responsibilities when it comes to implementation of projects like Rashtra Kishore Swasthya Karyakram, what is their vision and how do they engage among themselves. So we try to have these stakeholders meetings every now and then whenever we can and whenever all these bureaucrats and departments can come together. So it is not easy, it is a long road, but that's what I said. It is difficult, it will take time, and we need to give that time before we scale up or scale deep. So it has to go like together. Thank you. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you so much for your question. Actually, before answering your question, I zoomed out about to tell the mechanism of the Sri Lankan public health communication. Our Ministry of Health has a main health information bureau. It's called Health Promotion Bureau, right? And other compartments also, especially NCD unit, non-communicable disease prevention unit, and nutrition division unit. We have 3 special separate departments. We are always committing and working to give the best messages, health information to our Sri Lankan people. So, according to your questions, I selected these 3 institutions because at some point, these 3 institutions working together to communicate for people, right? So that's why I select setting to get the data. And who posed this, according to that question, who posed this contents? Actually, I didn't find exactly who is the person who developed this content and post this content, but it represents the institution, right? So I selected healthy diet related content. So according to my proposal, study proposal. So I went through that each healthy diet related content, right? So I didn't evaluate about the technical process. So I'm not going to talk about that position, but mainly institution-wise, they post these diet-related content. So I hope you get the answers for your questions.
Thank you very much. Okay, now I'm going to hand it over to my co-chair for the closing remarks.
Thank you, Sunny. Distinguished presenters, colleagues, and participants, good afternoon, and thank you for being a part of this rich and insightful session. Over the past 90 minutes, we had the opportunity to learn and listen through diverse yet deeply interconnected perspectives on how nutrition education can serve as a bridge to reduce the gap between knowledge and action. The deliberations of the session today reinforces a very powerful message. Nutrition literacy is not just a health intervention, it is a systems intervention. And to summarize the wonderful presentations from our region, I'd like to again highlight that multi-sectoral collaboration is no longer optional, but it has become essential. And digital platforms do offer unprecedented opportunities, but only work when grounded in context and reality. Also, I think from the presentations that we had from India and Bangladesh showed that scaling programs without addressing structural barriers can lead to tokenism, and real impact requires multi-systems change, be it from the community leading up to the state-level governance. Finally, from the experience of Bangladesh, it was key to reiterate that no matter how much technology may help, but human connection and empathetic engagement remains at the center of nutrition behavior change and counseling. So, to thank all my presenters and on behalf of my co-chair, Sunny Kim, and the entire session team, I would like to thank you once again for your thoughtful contributions and the amazing, insightful evidences that you presented today. Thank you so much once again for your time, expertise.